Welcome to the screencast for 0 as an exponent. After watching the screencast, you should be able to simplify expressions using 0 as an exponent. Prior to understanding this lesson, you should be comfortable with using the rules of exponents with our natural numbers. Natural numbers are your 1, 2, 3, 4, your counting numbers. Then we will have a better understanding of how to use 0 as an exponent. After this lesson, and after using 0 as an exponent, you should be ready to use the rules of exponents with integers. And integers are negative counting numbers, your counting numbers, including 0. So let's look at a quick review. 4 over 4. We know that 4 over 4 would simplify to 1 over 1, and it looks like we're crossing them out, but actually that's just 1 over 1. And 1 over 1 simplifies to 1. So we're looking with variables, x over x. We do need to keep in mind that x cannot be 0, because anytime you have a denominator, the denominator can never be equal to 0. So we have x over x, and as long as x is not 0, we can also simplify to 1 over 1, which again is 1. And we're going to do something similar for x to the 6th over x to the 6th. You have the same thing over the same thing in the numerator, same thing in the denominator. That's just 1 over 1, which simplifies to 1. But let's examine that a little bit closer using the rules of exponents that we learned when we're simplifying with exponents. So you have x to the 6th over x to the 6th. They have the same base. So you can keep the base and subtract the exponents. So that would be x to the 0. And we already know that x to the 6th over x to the 6th simplifies as 1, so it would follow that x to the 0 power is also 1. And it turns out that that's our rule. As long as your base is not 0, any number to the 0 power, or any variable to the 0 power, will always simplify to 1. So let's take a look at some 4 quick examples. X to the 0 is just 1. Any number to the 0 power is 1. What if you have negative x to the 0 power? Using our order of operations, we're going to look at x to the 0, which is 1, but we're taking the opposite of that, so our final answer would be negative 1. Looking at the next example, you could use your rules of exponents, 9 to the 0, x to the 0, which would be 1 times 1, or we could recognize when you're taking any quantity to the 0 power, that's just going to be equal to 1. Finally, if you have 9x to the 0 power, just the x to the 0 is turning to 1, but you still have the 9. So our final answer would be 9 times 1, or just 9. So there are 4 simple examples of how we're going to use 0 as an exponent. So after watching the screencast, we would expect that you can simplify expressions using 0 as an exponent.